Well, very good morning, guys. Fine. So last day, we have just been discussing about this. What's it? We have been developed one control, and after developing the control, we have just been writing the properties to the control, methods to the control. Actually, if you remember, I defined one property to a control. What are the property? Elapsed at the time. What are the property? Elapsed at the time. So what that property will do? The property elapsed time is just going to find out the elapsed time actually. It's going to return you the elapsed time. Second, what is the second thing? The second thing what you defined is, one is the elapsed time property, and the second thing what you just defined is, you defined two methods. One is start method, one is stop method. So giving an option for an implicit start, Okay, so how you can call the start method in the load event. And remember, when you call the start method in the load event, the start and stop buttons will not be functional. The start and the stop buttons will not be functional. User cannot click on start or stop. Are you clear? If that is implicitly called. No, it's not implicitly called. Means it has two behaviors here. This can be implicitly called. Then user won't have the control. Second option, no implicit calling. Then it is an explicit call. It is an explicit call means user only can click on the start button and user only can click on the stop button. Both the two things user only can click. Are you clearer or not? Start and stop buttons can be clicked by the user in this case now. Okay. So tomorrow, if it is implicitly started, what did I say? There is no start option. There is no stop option also. So in that scenario, when the user completes his exam, what he will do? He will click on the submit page button. When he clicks on the submit page button, automatically what is going to happen? First, it stops. See, stopped there. How it stopped? It stopped there because I've written the code as. So now I implicitly started, implicitly stopped. If you implicitly start, you must implicitly stop. If it is explicitly started, user only will explicitly stop it also. Okay. So stop clock 1.elapsed time not equal to 00. Just what you require to do here, you need to check it out. You need to check how many answers are correct. You need to answer how many answers are correct. Okay. What next? Check the day, the time. Check the time and store the marks attained by the student in a database. You're going to store the information in a database. And finally, I'm writing message box.show what you are qualified in the test, and final results will be announced as soon as possible. Final results will be announced as soon as possible. Okay. And this is for your information. Next, message box buttons. Okay. Next, message box icon dot information icon. Okay now. So now guys, if you look at this, the user starts writing the exam now. Here all the questions will be there. The user starts. Once the user finishes writing the exam, he'll click on the submit. Immediately first what will happen? See, stop clock stopped. Means you're on time. Then what I'm showing, you're qualified in the test and final result will be announced as soon as possible. And I'm just simply leaving this. Are you clearer or not? Okay. So fine. Now, if the user did not write the exam on time, the time became 0000. What did I say? You're disqualified. For example, the user clicked on the reset, then also is disqualified. See, user clicked on the reset. Time turned to 0000, disqualified. So what is it telling you? You're disqualified. Please try again. Are you clear? You're disqualified in the test. Please try again. Why? Because the time turned 0000 here. So that's what. So are you clear? Okay, this is a logic I'm writing in the submit button. Okay. So we have been successfully defined two prop methods and one property. See, start and stop are the methods I defined, and elapsed at the time is a property I defined. Okay, coming back. Yeah, last class I explained you this one. I have a class called stop clock. In this class, I have one mask text box, MTB time, then few buttons, BTN start, BTN stop, BTN reset, okay, BTN close. And apart from that, you defined elapsed time. What is this? Property. Next, start method. Next, stop method. What are these five are fields here? Fields. There are five are fields. Okay. And one property methods. Okay. So watch. This is a field. Okay. And don't forget, it's an instance of class mask text box. The field is an instance of the class mask text box now. Okay. And next. Instance of the class button. And this also same. This also same. This also same. But when you come here, what is this? It's a public property. Remember, I defined a read-only property. I don't want to assign values. And this is they're all private fields. So because these are all private fields, are they accessible out of the class? No, they cannot be accessed out of the class. They can be accessed only within the class. So because they cannot be accessed out of the class, I defined a public property to expose the mask text box value now. Because the start button is not accessible out of the class, I defined a public method. Public method. This also public method. See, remember, only public members are accessible out of the class, and none of the other members are accessible for you outside of your class. Only the public members can be accessed. Is it clearer? Okay, fine. So these are all the members that are defined for you inside of your class. Okay. So private fields, public properties, public methods, and all these things. Okay. So properties are clear, methods are clear. What is the third thing a control has? Events. So let's talk about these events. So why to define a property? To expose the value. Very clear here. To expose the value. The values are not exposed out of the class. So we define properties and expose the values. Why do we define methods? To perform actions. To perform the actions. Are you clear? Now, basically, why to define a property is what I said in the last class. But how to define a property we learned long back only. A properties class we learned. Why to define a method I explained you in the last class. But how to define a method we learned long back only. Are you clear? What I said in the last class is only why to define a property and why to define a method. Why to define properties? Properties are defined to expose the values. Methods are defined for performing actions. For example, okay. last day we talked about these two persons, remember? Component developer, application developer. The one who develops a control is called as component developer. The one who consumes the control and develops applications are called as application developer. Today, in our scenario, component developer, application developer, both are we only. I am only component developer, but tomorrow I am a component developer and you are a application developer. If you are an application developer, how are you going to consume my control? Now, as an application developer, what is my duty now? My duty is to define the required properties, methods, and events. If I don't define, see, simple, understand it. Text box is there. Text box developer, if it doesn't define a text property, text box developer, if it doesn't define a text property, can you access the text box value in the code? Tell me. You can't access the text box value in the code now. Are you clear? So, open file dialog control developer, if it doesn't give you a property called file name, you cannot access what is the file selected by user in your code now. So what they done? They're doing their duty. What is their duty? Their duty is to define properties to expose the values, methods to perform the action. See, properties. Why they are defined? Expose the values of the control, values associated with the control to application developer. Remember that we are exposing the value to application. See, I am a component developer. The value is present with me. I can access the value, but application developer cannot access the value. For him, I am defining a property. Next. They're defined for performing actions. See, stop clock, timer, leave stop clock, timer. Timer is given by Microsoft. Timer control has a start and stop buttons, correct? Methods, start method, stop method. Those two methods are not there. You cannot start a timer, you cannot stop a timer. Right or not? Text box provides you a method called reset. If that method is not there, you cannot reset the text box now. Okay, all controls provides a method called focus. If you don't have that focus method, how will you put the control focus in the control now? Are you getting me? All these are methods and they are used for performing actions. Now, what will component developer do? Component developer will define the methods. Application developer will call those methods so actions gets performed implicitly. Are you clear with the two things? Why to define? How to define? I did not tell you because we completed the discussion long back. But when you come to events, I need to teach you two things now. What are the two things? First, why to define events in the control? Why to define events in the control? Second thing, how to define events? Because we did not learn how to define events. You only learned how to consume events. Recollect here, when I was explaining all the members, I ignored events and I said, I will tell you events in the Windows programming. When I started Windows programming also, I shown you predefined events. Every control has event. You can use them. I said you. I did not show you how to define a event. So today we are going to learn both the two things. What are the two things? First one, why to define an event. Second one, how to define an event. Okay. Look, why to define an event? First, let me start from here. Say, listen. The developer of a control here, listen carefully. The developer of a control is not aware what should happen when the end user, say button was developed by someone now. Okay. Now I'll make a statement. Tell me you agree with me or not. What do you know? The developer of the button is not aware. The developer of the button is not aware what should happen when the end user clicks on the button. Am I right or wrong? Correct or not? What should happen when the end user clicks on the button? The developer don't know here. The developer don't know. Why? When the end user clicks on the button, sometimes form has to close. Sometimes data should be saved. Sometimes reset. Correct or not? Are you doing the same thing every time? Huh? Now, Microsoft has developed the button. On the day Microsoft developed the button, does Microsoft know what should happen when the end user clicks on the button? You don't know. There are three separate parties that are involved in our discussion here. There are three separate parties that are involved in our discussion here. What is the first party? component developer. Second party, application developer. Third party is end user. Now, I'll make a statement to you. Just listen carefully. Component developer. While developing the button, I'm taking button as an example, any control. Just I'm taking button as an example and explaining you. While developing the button, this person is not aware what should happen when the end user clicks on the button. Agree with me? Are you clearer or not? While developing the button, component developer, okay, while developing the button, just like without this one, I'll clearly write. Component developer, component is not aware what should happen when the end user clicks on the button. Is it clearer, all of you? Okay, next. What should happen when the end user clicks on the button is only known to who knows here? Application developer. You know na? When the end user clicks on this button, what has to happen? Should save the data, should clear the format, should close the format. You know. Who are you? Application developer. Who knows that? Application developer knows that. Are you clearer or not? So who is aware that? Application developer is actually aware what should happen when the end user clicks on the button. Okay. Now, see the confusion. Component developer developed a button, but he don't know the logic. Who knows the logic? Application developer knows the logic. Are you getting my point or not? When application developer writes the logic, when application developer is just going to write the logic, so basically one thing you just require to understand here. What is that? Even though application developer is writing the logic, whose responsibility is to execute that logic? Application developer writes a component developer developed the button here. Application developer designed a form, put a button on it. Now that is given to end user. Now end user is going to click on the button. End user is going to click on the button. When end user clicks on the button, who has to execute that logic? When end user clicks on the button, the logic should be executed by whom? Component developer, not application developer. Why, sir? Yes, guys. Application developer is not writing any logic to execute the code. Application developer is only writing what should execute, but he is not doing anything to execute the code. He is not doing anything to execute the code. Whose responsibility is to execute that code, you know? The responsibility of execution of the code is taken by, application developer. Sorry, component developer. By the component developer. How? I'll tell you. But here we'll have a doubt. Are these three parties connected with each other? See, when an application developer developing an application, is the component developer going to sit with the application developer? When you're developing an application, is anyone coming from Microsoft sitting with you and helping you? Or tomorrow will you go and sit beside the end user and help him? These three parties are not connected with each other at all. These three parties are not connected with each other at all. Okay? How all these things happens, I'll tell you. See, one day I explained you about events and event handlers. How to write the code using Notepad also I shown you. C#9. I remember form 3. Here I explained about events and all. Yes. So this is the event procedure. Event procedure is bound with it. And on that day I explained you. What is this, guys? Delegate. Is a delegate. So events won't execute directly. There's a delegate behind the screen to execute the code. I explained you all the logic to you. Okay. How? I shown you a picture. Events are predefined under the control. Next, we have delegates predefined. Now, application developer writes a event procedure, binds it with the event. Whenever the event occurs, the delegate will go and execute the event procedure. The delegate will now come and executes the event procedure. This is all I explained you already long back when I just explained you the Windows programming. The Windows programming classes, the starting stages, I explained it. And how to link also I said to you. How to link? Control dot event plus equals to new delegate, and then you require to write the event procedure name, all these things. So this dot load, this means form. Load is event, means form load. Delegate name, event handler. Method name, form 3 load. Same way. Control, button. Event is click. Delegate is event handler. Method name, but one click. Again, text box 1 is the text box. Which event? Delegate is key press event handler. And the method name is text box 1 underscore key press. I already demonstrated all these things to you long back. Are you clear? Okay. And on the day, we also discussed it. Just a minute. We also discussed it here. What? This point also, I said. What said? Events and delegates are predefined under the libraries. Under the libraries here, events and delegates are predefined under the libraries. Under the libraries. The libraries. Okay. Events are defined in control classes. All events are in the control array. Button is showing all the events. And delegates are defined under namespace. Why? Delegate is a type and every type will be under a namespace. Every type will be under a namespace. What is defined here is only an event procedure. What is defined here is only an event procedure. So after defining the event procedure in form class, Visual Studio links the control, event, delegate and event procedure with each other as we have seen above. And you can find this method in, this code in initialize component method. You remember the initialize component method will contain all the code in it now. Yes or not? And I shown that manually in the notepad also. Using notepad also how to do that. I demonstrated you the code. Using notepad if you want to do, you can just write the explicit coding like this. Event handlers, that code you have seen how to write all these things. Are you guys clear? Yes or not? All these things I just demonstrated to you. Okay, now coming back, what are we going to do right now is, listen. Read this all of you. Events. While developing a control, the developer of a control may not know what actions has to be performed at some specific time periods. That is just an example. Okay. What action has to be performed at specific time periods. For example, read the points. First point. For example, the developer of the button control is not aware what should happen when end user clicks on the button. Is it clear? Yes, now I said you. The developer of the button don't know what should happen when the end user clicks on the button. Who knows? Who knows? See, what should happen when button is clicked by end user will be decided by the application developer decides that, not the component developer. The component developer doesn't decide. Who will decide? Application developer. Next. Even if decided by application developer, it is the responsibility of component developer to execute the code that is implemented by application developer whenever end user clicks on the button. What is this? Third point will be confusing. What is confusing? Who writes the logic? Application developer. Who writes the logic? But recollect yourself as an application developer, you did not do anything to execute the logic. You did not do anything to execute the logic. What you done is only you are binding the control, event, delegate, and event procedure with each other. Correct? Who defined the event? You defined. Who defined the delegate? You defined. What you defined is only a method. That's all. Are you getting my point here? All these things are predefined for you by the component developer. So who is responsible in executing the logic, you know? Component developer is executing the logic. Are you clear what I'm telling you? Who is responsible? Read the point again. Even if decided by application developer, it is responsibility of component developer to execute the code that is implemented by application developer whenever end user clicks on the button. Actually, application developer only writes the logic. End user will click on the button. But problem is the responsibility of executing the code is again in the hands of component developer. But the confusion now is these three parties will never come together at all. These three parties never come together at all. They won't come together at all. But still, all the things are happening perfectly. How this happens? How all these things happens? Okay. Now read the fourth point. What is this? To perform the above, component developer first defines an event under his control and then asks the application developer to write the logic under an binding it with an event he has defined. So whenever the event occurs or raises, event procedure gets executed. Read that statement again thoroughly and just check it out. You understand that point or not? Come on, read again. Understood? So the thing is, how all these things will be coming together means component developer should define an event in his control. Component developer should define an event in his control and then ask the application developer what to write the logic. Then ask the application developer to write the logic under an event procedure, under an event procedure. And now that event procedure should be bound with the event. The event procedure will be bound with the event. That's what you done. You recollect yourself what you done. You defined event procedure and bound with the event. That's all. You defined the event procedure and bound with the event. So whenever event occurs, automatically what is happening? Whenever the event occurs, automatically what is happening here? The event procedure is getting executed. Whenever the event occurs, automatically the event procedure gets executed. Okay. And now read the last point. Do you remember this? What? To execute event procedures, events will take the help of delegates. Events will take the help of the delegates. Now let me show you all the things, how the things gets happen. Okay. Suppose, for example, let us take button control as an example. In the button control, do you have any event or not? What is the event? Click event. Whenever the user clicks, some logic has to be executed. Okay. Now, how these events are defined? How the events are defined and all the things, understand now. Watch. Syntax to define an event. How to define an event? Modifiers, event, delegate, name. You know, modifiers I don't require to explain you. Event is to tell you are defining an event. Delegate. What is this? Every event will take the help of a delegate. Na? Click event will take the help of a event handler. Load event handler. Key press event handler. Mouse click event handler. I showed you all these things to you. Different delegates are used in different scenarios. Now, the point is, every event will be using a different delegate, not the same delegate. So at the time of defining your event, you should tell which delegate has to be defined. Which delegate has to be used there. Which delegate has to be used there. And here, the name of the event. For example, I'll tell you an example. Click is an event. What the delegate used by click? Click uses which delegate? Event handler, not event. Event handler. Delegate name is means. Now you understand. Delegate should be defined first. Event should be defined first. Brainless fellows. Delegate name should be used in the event. I'm telling you, and you're telling you will define event first. Array, what I'm telling you here, you need to write the delegate name in the event now. The what you will define first? Delegate. First you should define the delegate. After defining the delegate, then you should define the event. How to define delegates? Array, defining delegates we already know. Delegate defining will be just like a method definition, that's all, without body. Okay? So, first, what is defined? A delegate is defined. What delegate? Event handler. Okay? Public delegate, what's it? Like void, delegate name, event handler, and it has to take some parameters. Do you remember this one? Delegate parameters should match with the method parameters. Yes or not? Now this will call you a method. This will call you a method. What method? Button1 underscore click. Correct? And do you remember? Event procedure is the method, and that's a non-value returning method. That's why I used void here. And it takes two parameters also. What are the two parameters? One is object sender. Second one is event argc. One is object sender, and the second one is event argc. So here, what should come? Object sender. Second, event argc. One is object sender, second one is event argc. This is my delegate. This is my delegate. And once after defining the delegate, the next thing is you're required to define the event. Watch it now. Public event. What is the delegate name? Event handler. This is how the events are defined. This is how the events are designed. Okay? I'll put you much more clearly. First, where delegates are defined? Delegates are defined in the library under some namespace. Delegates are defined in the library under some namespace. The namespace under which the event handler delegate is defined is system. What namespace? System. So namespace, system. So inside of the namespace, this is defined. Okay, next. Namespace system dot windows dot forms. Public class button colon control. This is the correct picture, guys. Where is the delegate defined? Under system namespace. Where is the event defined? Under control class. Events are defined under control class. Are you following me? Events are defined under control class. And while defining event, we should use a delegate. If you want to be a little bit clear, right? Array, import system, guys. To be clear, I've written as system.eventhandler. Did you understand the process? Yes or not? Can you tell me how keypress event is defined now? Don't bother about the classes and all, namespaces. Just tell me the two lines. Delegate definition, event definition. That's all. I said you the event name. What is the event? Keypress is the event. What is the delegate? Keypress, event handler, not handler. Keypress, event handler. Parameters, object sender. Second one is not event args. We have properties now. If property is not there, it is not event arg. Keypress event args. Keypress event arg. That's what I said. You come read and come to the class. That only I said you. It is a keypress event args. So first, what is defined? Delegate. Come on. Public. Tell me. Delegate. Void. Keypress event handler. Keypress event handler. The two parameters. What are the two? Object sender. Second one. Keypress event args E. Keypress event args E. Next. Event. Event next. Public event. Why void came now? Delegate name na? What the delegate name? Kpress event handler. That is how you should define. First, what should define? Delegate. Then the delegate name should be used in the code and you should define the event now. The delegate name should be used in the code and you should define the event in this process. So this is how you're just going to do that. So what is first? Delegate. Afterwards, event. Afterwards, you can use the event. Are you clear? Okay. Now, yeah, this is about a delegate and this is an event, how you define. Fine. Now coming back, did you understand why to define event in the control? Why to define property in a control? To expose the value. Methods, performing actions, events. The first point I said you that only now. Component developer is not aware what action has to be performed at a particular point of time. Then what to do? Don't write logic, write event. Are you clear? See, simple. You want to know, you are a component developer. You know what action has to be performed at a point of time. You know what action has to be performed at a point of time. What will you do? You will write a method. You don't know what action has to be performed at a point of time. What will you do? You will define an event. Understand the difference. You know logic, write method and implement all the logic. You don't know logic, define event. Application developer will write the logic. Is this clearer or not? Okay, I'm once again telling you, when you're developing a control, you know what logic has to be executed here. Write what? Method and put all the logic here. You don't know. If you don't know what to do, define an event and let the application developer to write the logic. Okay, now see, concentrate on this. Duties of a component developer. Duties of a component developer. 1. Define a delegate. Define a delegate. 2. Define a event linking with the this event should be linked with the delegate now. Are you clear? Now, what are the duties of an application developer? Application developer duties, you know. What are this? You've done it also using Notepad. What is the first step? Define a event procedure. What to do? Define a event procedure. You learned it now. In the Notepad, I've written the code for you. Next, bind. Bind the controls event with Are you clearer, guys? You have done this already in the Notepad. Recollect yourself. You have defined an event procedure, and after defining the event procedure, you have just written all the code for manually to bind all the things with each other. Bind the controls event with a delegate and event procedure. That is what. And these are two things we already learned. Okay? And how to define a delegate also we know. If anything is new to you, what is new? We did not do that. I was only theoretically explaining you till now. I did not do that. How to define events I shown you. How to define event procedures I explained you. How to find an event, delegate and event procedure also explained you. What I did not really tell you is only how to define a event. Just now I given the syntax to you, but I did not show that practically how to do it. Are you guys clear? Yes or not? Okay. So this is what pending for us. We need to finish it. We need to finish this one. So again, when do you define an event? How should I teach? I don't understand, guys. Just now I said you don't know logic, write a method. You don't know the logic, write an event. Again, you will put blank faces only. When to define an event? Louder. When we are not aware of the logic that has to be executed, when we don't know the logic that has to be executed, then we require to write a event. If you know the logic, what you write? Method. If you don't know the logic, what you write? Event. You don't know the logic, what you should write is event. Okay? Well, so I'll tell you how to define these events. But meanwhile, I just missed a small thing, guys. We just missed a small one. Let's complete that, guys. What is it? Actually, we did not write the logic for close. We written the logic for start, stop, reset also, but we left this close empty. We did not write the logic for close. Correct? Yeah, this close is left empty. Okay, just a minute. So close. We'll finish it and then we'll come back to the events. Just a minute. What exactly is my requirement? You know, when the user clicks on the close button, the form on which the control is placed, which control? Stop clock. The form on which the stop clock is placed should be closed. Did you catch my point or not? When the user clicks on the close button, what should close? The form on which the stop clock is placed should be closed. On which form? Today we placed it on form 4. So today we placed it on form 4. So that should close now. Are you getting my point or not? So what should I write now? Come on. When I click on the close button, the form on which the stop clock is placed should be closed. That has to be closed now. Understood? Huh? I'm placing a stop clock on some form. That form should close now. Louder. What I said, you right or wrong, speak louder. Confidently. Maybe wrong, yeah, speak louder. What should I write? What is that? This dot close. This means form only. This means form. That's your current class, correct? Array, this is user control now, yeah. Why are you forgetting that? This is form now, huh? What is this now? Did I ask the user control to close? Huh? What did I ask to close? Form. Then why are you telling this dot close? See, listen here. If you write this code in form, this dot close is correct. But you're writing this code in user control. Remember that point first. When you're writing the code, user control. So I cannot write this dot close now. Understood me? So this dot close is wrong. Yeah. Avais is telling form 4 dot close. Form 4 dot close. What is form 4? Class name or instance? Qureshi. You said form 4 dot close. What is form 4? Class name or instance? First to clarify that. So this is the suggestion what he has given. Class name. Okay. When do we use class name and call a method? When do we prefix a class name and call a method? When do we prefix class name to call a method? Really shame on your part here. Static here. Not static class, static method. When the method is static, when do you prefix class name? When the method is static, I prefix the class name. Okay? Close is not a static method. Close is not a static method. Qureshi, you said it is the class name. So close is not a static method. If it is a static method, you can't call this dot close. You're calling this dot close means that is non-static. Array, static cannot be used this now. This cannot be used for static. Wrong. This, form 4 dot close is the suggestion what is given. That is also wrong. This dot close is wrong. Form 4 dot close is also wrong. Why this dot close is wrong? This dot close is wrong. Why? Because you are writing code in user control. Here this means it refers to user control, not to form. So then second suggestion is form 4 dot close. You can do it if the method is static. You can do that when the method is static, but the method is not static. That is also wrong. Still, what are the other options I have? How can I write? Think. That is a non-static method. I cannot call like that. Create the Instance of which class? Louder. Form 4. What is the guarantee that will be placed on form 4 only? Tomorrow if you place on form 5? Why I ask you questions, Or if you tell that will be a discussion here, if you don't talk anything, that will be just one-way communication. See, because you come out, then you can understand, okay, this is the problems. If you don't talk anything, I can't do any explanation. Is any guarantee every time you'll be placing on form 4 only? Then you're telling me to create the instance of form 4 now? Tomorrow if I place on form 5, that won't execute then. Any more ideas? Close parent form. How? So shall I write there close parent form and it will close? Tell me the logic. Don't tell nonsense. Just close parent form is how? That only I to ask the same question. Close the parent form. And for that I'm telling you, I'm asking you what is the logic. You are also telling me close parent form. I already said that. Close the parent form. For that the logic. Close? What is that? Close click event. Do you have it? Do you have any event called close click? Okay. First tell me, do you know what to write? I don't know. Don't know? That only no, I said, if you don't know the logic, write an event here. That's what? You don't know logic now. Did you get my point? You know logic. Write a method and call it. You don't know logic. When you don't know logic, what you should do? You should define event and give the chance of writing the code to application developer. Application developer can write this dot close. I cannot write this dot close. Did you get my point or not? See, tomorrow it's not only about closing here. Before closing, application developer want to save the data to database. If I write, what am I now? See, when I'm pointing to this class, and always I am component developer. I'll speak like a component developer. If pointing to form, I'll speak as application developer. Now see, I'm pointing to stop clock. So I'm speaking as a application developer. Now what I'm telling is, how do I know what the end user wants to do? What the application developer wants to do? Simply close the form, or before closing the form, save the data to database. I don't know that. Is my point clearer, all of you? I don't know that. Because I don't know what has to happen there, I can't write the logic now. So let me give the chance to whom? Application developer. To do that, what should I do? I need to define an event in my control. I need to define an event in my control. Okay, how to define this event? Yeah. So in the class, see, just now I shown you in the notepad, guys. In the button, they defined an event. See, this is a button class. In the button class, there is a defined an event called click. What is button? Control. Now, what is my control? Now, in my application, what is my control? I'm going to define an event now. But to define an event, you need a delegate also. Are you getting my point or not? You need a delegate also. Okay, listen. Listen to me. All events need a unique delegate, or can the same delegate be used by multiple events? All events need a unique delegate, or one delegate can be used by multiple events. One delegate can be used by multiple events. We already saw, click and load are using the same delegate event handler. Click and load are using the same delegate, which delegate? Event handler. Are you clear? So every event doesn't require a unique delegate. The same delegate can be used by multiple events. So why I ask this question, defining a delegate is not mandatory for us. We can define a delegate on our own, as well as we can make use of the predefined delegates also. We can make use of the predefined delegates also. Okay. First, I'll show you predefined delegate. Then I'll show you when do we define our own delegates, and I'll change to user defined delegate also. Let me show you both. So first I'll show you predefined delegate. Which delegate? Anything your event handler is there, we'll use it. Public event some delegate name. What delegate I'm using? Event handler. All of you watch it, eh? Watch it. This purple color icon just looks like a briefcase is an event. Sorry, is a delegate. All these are delegates only. All these are predefined delegates. To understand them, all delegate names ends with event handler. All delegate names ends with, when you see event handler, that's a delegate. Are you clear? Event handler, key press event handler, mouse event handler. Like there's so many event, data column change event handlers, so many delegates are there. All these are predefined. Understood? Huh? And I'm using what? Event handler is what I'm using. Event handler. I want to define an event here. What is the event? Some name. I want to give the name of the event as close click. I want to give the event name as close click. My event here, my choice. I'll give whatever name I want. Okay? Close click. Close click. Now tell me, I still did not compile this code. Before compilation, stop clock doesn't have close click event in it. Agree with me? I'll preview. Watch. Go to your form, select the stop clock, go to its properties, go to its events, and check it out. There is no event called as a close click at all there. All the events are starting with the name C. See there. You'll have a doubt now. Sir, I did not define any events now. Where all this came from? All this came from the parent class user control. What is your parent class? User control now? User control provides you a set of predefined events to you. You define one property in your class now. What is the property name? Stop. Elapsed time. Go to properties. You should find the TSC. Yes or not? Properties read write or read only? Yeah. Check. Non-editable. It read write, it's editable. I can enter the value. But I defined what? Read only. That's why it is going to be non-editable. And now come to events and see the events that are going to start with the character C there. And you see you don't have any event called close click, correct? Yes or not? I want to. I wanted to. Okay. Now come back here. Build the project once. Build. When you build, the changes will automatically reflect there now. Okay. Build the project. Again. Now you should find the close click event. Watch. Got it? That is user defined event, not predefined. Another way I can prove you. How? Watch this. When you select any predefined event, when you come to bottom, it'll show you the description. Are you clear? But when you come and go to user defined events, the description is not there. But you can give description. You can give, option is there. How can I give? I'll show you. If at all you just wanted to give a description here, go back here and you can write what? Description occurs when close button is clicked on the stop clock. Is it clear? Occurs when close button is clicked on the stop clock. So this is called as a description. I can give a description. So rebuild. Come back here. Is it clear? One more thing. You can give a description like this. We have one more thing called category. What is category? Actually, when you see these events, right now you're seeing all the events in alphabetical order. Here you have this option here, alphabetical. And you have one more option. What is the option, Categorized. So when you click on this, it will show you the events in a categorized view. In a categorized. These are all action events. These events are associated with appearance. These events are associated with behavior. Okay, these are all drag drop events. These events are also focus, validating, focus, leaving the control. These are all called as what? Focus events. These are all key events. key down, key press, key up. Same way, these are all layout events. And these are all miscellaneous events. Watch it, your event went into the miscellaneous category. They're all mouse events. Mouse up, mouse click, mouse down. Are you clearer or not? But for your event, there is no category. Because there is no category, it came under which category? Miscellaneous category. No, not miscellaneous. I want my event also to be coming under the action category. Which category? Action category. It should come here. Understood? Huh? You can do that also. Whatever Visual Studio you see, you can do everything here. Till now you consumed, now you're defining. Okay, come back. So just like we use the description attribute, we have one more thing called as category. And tell the name of the category. Which category? Action category. Right click, build. Close click is your event, right? Go to categorized view. Oh, not here. Sorry guys, just a minute. I'm showing in a wrong place. It's in here. Same like that, you can do it for your properties also here. What's it? You defined a property here na? What property? Elapsed time. Where is it? That also here will be in the miscellaneous. That also is in the miscellaneous and no description. No description. I can give a category and also I can give a description for that also. I can give a category for that and I can give a description for that. How to give? Same process. Watch. Come here and I'll go to this one now. Look. What is the category? Come on, yaar. What is the category? Data. Data is the category. What is the description? It gets the elapsed time of current instance of stop clock. That's going to get you the elapsed time for the current instance of the stop clock. Like this, you can also add a description for that. Category can be given as well as description also can be added. Okay. Now again, whenever you make the change, don't forget to build a project. And once you build the project and come back, you must see all these things. See, your elapsed time went to the data. Tag is also there only. Okay. And you select it, come below. Description. Okay, na? So properties and events will be seen in the property window. That's why I can add descriptions for that and all the things. For methods are not shown here. Methods will be shown in the code only. For that, no categories and descriptions will be there. Okay. Fine. Now come back. Now I want to write some logic for the close click. Now you are an application developer now. What are the tasks of an application developer? Define a event procedure. Second, bind the event, delegate, bind the control event, delegate and event procedure with each other. Correct? The application developer tasks are very simple here. Why? Double click, Visual Studio only will do all these things to you. See there, event procedure generated. If you want, you can go into initialize component and notice it. That duty application developer tasks are very simple. What to do? Double click, Studio generates everything to you as expected. You can see there, control is stop clock 1. Instance, na? Dot, close click is the event. Delegate name, event handler. Method name, close click. Is it clear? And now here you got your event handler, And here I wanted to write message box dot show event occurred. Okay, na? Message box dot show event occurred. Run. Now you defined an event for your control. Which control? Stop clock. You defined an event for your control. Which control? Stop clock. Now that event handler also you defined. Now tell me, when will that event handler execute? What should I do to execute that logic? Array, you written the code for close event, close click na. When that event will execute? Look on the screen. Louder. When the close button is, where did you tell that? Because the event name is close click, it will execute for close button. Huh? Tomorrow my event name is XYZ. When will it execute here? Did you understand my question? Where did you tell that that code should execute for close button? Why not reset button? See, understand, you wanted to execute at close button. Understand English correctly. You wanted to execute at close button. You did not tell that anywhere. Am I right or not? Okay. Didn't we tell that anywhere? Where did you tell here? Simply see. What did you do? Just keep in mind. What did you do? In the class. Which class? Stop clock. You defined an event called close click. What is the link between close click and close button? Tell me. Is it clearer or not? There is no link at all. And observe, in the close, you did not write any code at all. That is left empty only. Now, when you run that, why will that code execute in close? Why not in reset? Point clearer or not? Okay. So actually, I did not tell you one thing here. I did not tell you one more thing. Actually, component developer has 3 duties to do. I said only 2. Third one. What is the third one here? Raise the event. This is the third step. So component developer should define a delegate. Mandatory or optional? Optional. Why? We use the predefined delegate na. Now component developer should define a delegate. Yeah, this is mandatory. Next. This is the third step. How to raise the event? Now you tell me. When you want the event to be raised? Look on the screen and answer. When you want the event to be raised? When the user clicks on the close button, I want the event to be raised when the user clicks on the close button. Tomorrow when the user clicks on the close button, I want the event to raise. Okay. So here I'm going to write the code. What is the code? Code for raising the event. How to write? How to write the logic? Watch. Very simple here. Call that event. That's all. Close click. That's it. Call that event there. What is the event name? Close click. Now see, when you click on the close button, close click event will occur now. And automatically the logic executes to you over there. So build it again. Go back to your Windows project, run. Now guys, you can see when I click on event occurred. Are you clearer? Event occurred to you because the event was raised. The event was raised. When the event is raised for close button. When the user clicks on the close, the new event raises. What is the new event? Close click event. And that close click event will come here and executes the logic that you defined in the close click event handler. Okay. And you noticed it? Your event handler is taking 2 parameters. Why? Because delegate signature and the method signature should match. Correct or not? Now we use the predefined delegate or use the defined delegate? Predefined delegate. And the delegate is defined with 2 parameters already. So event handler also comes with 2 parameters because those 2 should match. Are you following me? Delegate is already defined with the 2 parameters here. What are the 2? Objects and event. So here also come. Suppose if the delegate is defined with objects under key press event args, here also objects under key press event args will come. Are you clear? So now we use the predefined delegate or use the defined delegate? When do we use user-defined delegates, sir? When do we use user-defined delegates? See, when do we use user-defined delegates, All predefined delegates are defined with two parameters. Here also will get. But tomorrow, I want my event procedure only with one parameter. I want only with one parameter. What parameter? Object sender. Are you clear? Or I want two parameters. Object sender, string S. Or I want three parameters. Object sender, event argc, string S. In all these scenarios, you define your own delegates. Did you catch my point or not? In what scenarios we define the delegates? If you want to change the number of parameters, type of parameters, you need to define your own delegates now, because these delegates will take two parameters fixed. That is fixed. No, I don't want these two. I don't want parameters at all. I don't want parameters at all. Or I want only one parameter. I want two, but not these two, something else. I want three. In all these cases, what is the solution, Define your own delegates. What to do? Define your own delegates. You must define your own delegates in this context. Shall we try that? Okay, we'll try that also. Just a second. Guys, look. I want to remove this code now. I want to remove. How to remove? When you want to remove, I already explained to you, if you delete this method here, error will come. Screen won't be shown, error will come. So first you need to delete in the design part. Don't delete the method first. Delete in the design. Come here. Delete the method name here. Then you can come and delete the method. Okay, watch it now. There is no logic for close click. When you click on the close click, logic won't execute. Are you getting me? Yes or not? Did not write event handler now? Come on. So will the logic execute? No, logic won't execute. But see what is happening when I click on the close. Error coming, guys. When I delete the event handler, error is coming. Why are you getting the error? Because the event is getting raised. Event is getting raised, but there is no corresponding event handler. But this is not happening with predefined events, sir. If I place a button and run the screen and click on the button in the runtime, I am not getting any error even if I don't write a click event handler for that. Correct or not? Array, take a button, put on the screen here. Don't write any logic. Run, click on the button. Error won't come. Even if I don't write any logic. But why am I getting this error? What error are you getting? What error am I getting here? Okay, let's see again. What error are you getting? Null reference exception. Null reference exception is the error what I am getting now. Did you catch my point? Why close click is null? Close click is null. Because close click doesn't have any logic that has been implemented here. But this is not happening with predefined events. If the same problem occurs with the predefined events, do you know what is the hell? For every event, you are required to generate one event handler. Suppose the control has 50 events. 50 event handlers should be generated in your code. Is it easy? Because take a button here. Button has 50 events. 50 event handlers. 10 buttons are there means 500 event handlers now. Are you clear? That will become very complicated process. Okay. So why predefined is not coming with the raising the error, but why user defined is raising the error? Nothing here. For user defined also we can fix. For the user defined event also we can fix this error. How to fix the error? Just watch. Go to the user control. Here you are raising the event now. A small condition. What condition? If close click not equal to null. Array, we got that error only now. It is null and you got the error. It's not equal to null. Then raise the event. So now you won't get the error now. Okay. So build it. Come back to the Windows form. Run. See, even though I don't write event handler, now I'm not getting any error. Check that. No error. So when you're raising the event, you should be cautious. What is that? not null, then only the event raising should occur. Okay, fine. Yeah, finally, where we are just talking about defining our own delegates. What scenarios I should define the delegates, I said? In what scenarios we define our own delegates without using predefined delegates? When you want to change in the parameters, either 0 parameters or 1 parameter or 3 parameters or 2 parameters, but not these two, something else. In all those cases, we need to define the delegates on our own. Okay. So for example, watch. Now come back to the user control. Look here. Here we use the predefined delegate, correct? I want to define my own delegate. Come on, let's define. Delegate should be defined under namespace. So watch. Public void. Shall I define a delegate called as close event handler? Array, just like key press event handler, mouse event handler, I'm defining now close event handler. Is that clear? And guys, watch, I'm not taking any parameters. Taking parameters is not mandatory here. Why it became mandatory for us till now, you know? Because all predefined delegates are defined with parameters. That's why my event processors are also coming with parameters now. If the delegate is defined without parameters, event processor also comes without parameters only. Watch now. Is it having any parameter? No. Okay. Now here, come to the code. Not event handler. What is it? Close event handler. The delegate is close event handler. Now you see, I have all the 3 steps now. Watch. Step 1. What's it? Define a delegate. This one. Step 2. Define a delegate making use of a delegate. And remember, this can be first I shown you predefined, now I'm showing you user defined. And come below, and then you have step 3 here. What is step 3? Raising the event. Are you clear? And now it is giving error, see? Why is it giving error? No parameters. No parameters. So simply close click without any parameters. Build. Okay. Now come back to here. Go to the events. Which event? Close click. Double click. See that? Changes are not reflected still. Hold on, guys. Changes not reflected still. Sometimes changes may not be reflected immediately. What you do is clean and build. Remember clean? Clean will delete all the old and regenerate the new things. Got it? No parameters. The event procedure is generated without any parameters now. Why? Because my delegate doesn't have parameters. Now go to designer.cs file and watch all of you. This dot close click, say stop clock 1 dot close click, delegate name. Defined in this namespace here. Delegate name is close event handler. Method name. Are you clear? And all the things what I wanted to write here is, not just this dot close. Actually, my requirement is, first I did not explain you. I don't want this button at all, guys. I don't want this button. Delete the button. To complete your exam, you should click on the close button. Array, to complete the exam, you're required to click on the close button. Why no extra button required now? Which button? Close button. So all the logic, what did you write in your submit button? You deleted the button, remove that code from here. I don't want this. All the code should come here and then it's only I said here. When I give the chance for application developer can write anything he like there now. See, what is he writing? He's writing the code for checking how many answers are correct. He'll write the code for storing the data into database. Are you clearer? Otherwise, he'll show this message. Finally, this dot close. Run now. So there is an implicit start. Everything is done ready. There is an implicit start now. And here you'll be having all the questions in the right side now. User will be answering the questions. Once completed, what the user will do? Go and click on the close button. And once the user clicks on the close button, first stop clock will stop. See there, stop clock stopped. Afterwards, showing a message. What message? You're qualified and the final results will be announced. Click on the OK button. Form is closed. Why? Because I also added you. This dot close there. Is it clearer? Yes or not? So to make you understand, to define one property in the code, two methods in the code, and one event in the code. Finally, coming back, you have an event also now. What is it? Close click. What is this? A public event that occurs when close button is clicked. Are you clearer, all of you? This is the final picture. So I showed you defining properties in the code, methods in the code, events in the code. Now you can add more properties, more methods, more events in this process. I shown you one property, two methods, one event. You can define whatever you want from now onwards. Are you clear about developing the controls? This is how Microsoft has developed all the controls and given to us. Clearer? This is how Microsoft has developed all the controls and given to us for consumption, and we are consuming all the controls in our application. Okay, so this is about the first option here, developing a control, making use of existing control. Second option is extended or inherited control. What did I say? We don't design any control. We will be changing the behavior of existing control. Tomorrow, I'll show you. That's a small coding only here. That will be a small example. You'll see. And tomorrow, we are also going to start with database programming. Is that clear? So we'll be just starting with database programming from tomorrow onwards. How to save? UI designing is done. Now, next step, save the data to database now. That's going to be our next step. Okay, let's stop it. We'll meet tomorrow.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.